Hello. In this video, I want to share a story about a girl who grew up in a very dysfunctional family. There was a lot of violence and alcoholism in her house. This little girl developed a nervous and introverted behavior. And when she started going to school, it was very difficult for her to remember the homework. So when she was in class, she forgot everything she had learned. One day, the teacher told the mother that the girl was no good for learning, that it was much better for her if she would take her out of the school. From that moment on, all she was considered good for was to do the house chores and take care of her brothers and sisters. When she turned 16, she fell in love and got married. A year and a half later, she and her newly born child were abandoned by her husband. That painful experience created more fears, bitterness, and low self-esteem. As an adult, she complained constantly about her bad luck. In her 40s, she had the opportunity to immigrate to another country where she was presented with many other opportunities, but always rejected them due to her lack of confidence. Today, at 75 years old, she resents the past, blames herself for her lack of character, the teacher and her parents for their ignorance. She blames society and the whole world for all her misfortunes. That lady is my mother, and I love her dearly. When I asked my mother if she ever considered consulting a professional to get a diagnosis about her learning disability, her answer was that the idea never crossed her mind. See, the simple opinion of a teacher took my grandmother to believe that my mother wasn't good to learn, and then they reinforced that story over and over. I believe that story was my mother's biggest obstacle, yet she still believes that it was her destiny. It was easier for her to blame others and destiny than to accept that she had the power to change. Many people accept the role society imposes on them and put the needs of others ahead of their own. They sacrifice themselves for their children, a spouse, their parents, and many times for their friends. They forget about their dreams because someone told them stories they believe firmly. The sad part is that they never stop to analyze if those stories are limiting or empowering them. When I decided to make changes in my life, I learned to observe those people who were making their dreams a reality and those of us who were failing in the attempt. Most of the time, I've noticed that the first ones had a unique state of mind, a state shaped by the stories they were telling themselves. That's what separates them from the rest, because they have a positive way of looking at life. They accept that they can change their stories. Then they make a plan and embark on a journey to transform their life. I understood that if I really wanted to transform mine, I had to first realize that no one could do it for me. And once I accepted that the story I was believing was what kept me away from reaching my goals, that's when I really knew I had the power to change it. I began by setting achievable goals and asking myself questions like, what changes should I make? What specific aspects should I address in order to live a better life? Did staying attached to the memories and resentments of the past empower me? I realized that no one knew me better than myself, and honesty was paramount if I wanted to find inner peace. After all, that's what most of us are after, inner peace and happiness. I believe they depend on each other, and they both are experienced for short periods of time. And that's why this search becomes a daily practice. I know from personal experiences that there are events that hurt so much when we remember them, and it's even worse if we even try to face them head on. But we can't continue letting the past be an obstacle to living the quality of life that we deserve. I read somewhere that it is recommended to use the past as a trampoline and not as a sofa, and I totally agree with that quote. In my case, I discovered that the quickest way for me to find inner freedom was by practicing compassion and forgiveness. The Dalai Lama said, all major religious traditions carry basically the same message, That is love, compassion, and forgiveness. The important thing is they should be part of our daily lives. Now it's in your hands to change limiting stories for empowering ones. Just think of love, compassion, and forgiveness. And if you believe that those who harm you don't deserve those feelings, think again. Think about yourself. Do you think that you deserve inner peace and happiness? Of course you do. My intention with this video is to help you realize that forgiveness is a decision to let go of emotions that limit you. And when you consciously make it a daily practice, you will begin to understand that it's not about others deserving your forgiveness. It's more about you experiencing freedom and inner peace. I hope you find this information useful, and if you would like to receive updates on my videos, please subscribe to this channel and press the little bell icon to receive notifications. Many blessings, and remember that by forgiving, you are regaining your power. Make it a daily practice.